Hey. Yeah. Thank you. Hey, so it's good to see you guys. Thought today was thought the whole process has been good. There's been improvement. I think for our younger guys, to play fast, we would call that playing green, kind of put themselves out there in an area where you can make a mistake and you can do something wrong, and make those mistakes and learn and then attack it the very next play. I think really that's the thing, because then all the false stuff is out the way and we can be true and real about things. And I feel like that a lot of that is happening now. And there was a lot of that today. And then I thought with some of the veteran guys, some of the transfer guys, Mike Smith's been just continue to impress. Keytron had a bunch of long passes caught and runs and all of it. And then, we're getting good things from Jake, in terms of blocking and catching and all of it. So just way impressed with the effort today. I think it's a step in the right direction. Still a long way to go. I feel like the youth of the team we need to be in. We probably need to do more things wrong and learned that that's not the thing to do. It's, to have an idea of what's right. Take questions.
Dave, it sounds like a lot of those transfers you're expecting a pretty major impact from. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean they're really like the veterans. I appreciate the question. They're the veterans in the room. And so it's such a different dynamic than maybe any other time, And so you look at our stretch lines are generally an illustration. Whoever's in front is thought of as the leader per that position group. And a lot of those guys are the transfer guys, And I think some of it just comes from they've been in fights before, they've been knocked out before, they've gotten back up. They dust themselves off, just all of that. And, I think there's a great respect there. And, off of days like today, every day you're somewhat different in terms of the growth and how you approach things and everything. And so, Mike moving forward, Keytron moving forward from today, some of the things they did will be even more so. So excited for that.
Dave, a lot of younger players, but also a lot of new members to your coaching staff. How have they adapted kind of throughout this early spring?
Really good. Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I'm way comfortable and excited about the staff. I think, I don't know, just personally probably have screwed it up too many times. And so now that there's an opportunity to try to get it right, I think, in terms of, a lot of that's just knowing who you are and knowing kind of what you value and knowing kind of what it is. And when you don't know that, it makes it hard to find people that match all of that. And so the more that's defined, the easier it is to get people that fit. And I feel like, you to be able to believe something and say something, for them to be able to take that and in their own way take it to the team, I feel like that's really strong right now.
Do you have any players that aren't going to be able to participate in part of spring ball or who are going to be limited during spring?
We've got a couple guys that are coming back off of injury. Brooks Miller had a concussion. Let's see, Kelsey is coming back from a leg injury. I'm hopeful the next scrimmage he's playing in it. He was around today. And so nothing that is going to, Garmin Randolph, I think, had a heel injury. I think he may be the very end of spring. And so there's some guys that we're expecting to see everybody. Some of them maybe later.
Dave,
yeah, in spring.
How do you feel like Isaiah handled last year's situation and then maybe coming into this spring? How has he handled all of that?
Appreciate that. I think Isaiah's a very strong individual. I think the insides of him are, there's great depth there, great perspective. Is a humble view of things. And so I think all of that helps when you're in the midst of just things aren't working right. This isn't how I thought it would go. This isn't what I was, put my head on my pillow at night. This isn't what I was dreaming on. And so I think for him to handle it the way he did and then continue to push to get better. And, in the midst of all of it, I think, it can be, there can be, when that stuff happens, just a bunch of, it's, the competition is a thing, and then there can be other things that can come off to the side of it. And there never was with Isaiah. That's just not him. And so for him to continue to work, inside out to get better, I think we're seeing it now. So way excited. I think his best football is ahead of him. And so big fan of his.
The QBs, how's that competition?
There's good things. I think, Sawyer continues to push just with his, maturity and his leadership and his energy. And then Blake has had really this whole week with Blake has been really good. I thought on Tuesday was a really strong day. Thursday was good. And then this was a really good day for Blake today. And so he's starting to stand up a little bit straighter, look you in the eye a little bit more. He's kind of coming into his own, which is a cool thing to see, which is really the thing.
You mentioned one time that the SEC type defensive linemen compared to what you're seeing in the Big 12, they just go. And you're more scheme oriented with what you have. Are you getting to that point?
Appreciate that. Yeah, I remember that comment when I first came in. And, I think to put perspective on that, I think especially that particular year, 2020, a lot of twist stunts, This was Oklahoma with all the twists and stunts, and then Kansas State at the time was that way too. And the blitzes, and TCU at that time too. Coach Patterson was that way. And then, we ended up doing a fair amount of that as well in 2020. And I think, as it goes, you look at some of the front people that played last year for K-State, and you look at some of the front people that played for Tech, and you look at some of the people that we're playing with now, like what can be possible with Gabe, like what can be possible with TJ, and then some of the freshmen that we got that have opportunities to play. I think it is changing in that regard, in terms of just the, hey, here's a guy that they're going to, this is their Jimmy Chitwood. They're going to clear the floor, and he's got the last shot. And I think that hasn't really been the case. And we're hoping that can be us. I know for sure, particularly this past year, we faced those teams. So that's a good point. I think it's changing.
Coach, I asked Garrison, kind of non-football related.
Uh-huh.
He said there's no April Fool's Day pranks that have been pulled today.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done that to any of your teams, or do you have anything planned for today?
No, yeah. I have to imagine there's been things pulled on me that I haven't figured out. So I'm still trying to catch up to it.
Today,
Yes.
yeah.
Thanks, Sean.
Okay, thank you guys.
Ready for Isaiah?
Let's do it.
Well, Isaiah, what's your mindset this year, obviously last year you were beaten out. What's kind of the mindset now?
Mindset, honestly, is the same as last year. Even though I wasn't playing, I got to cheer on my teammates, and it was a good, humbling experience for me. And honestly, now it's the same, and I just get to encourage my competition while I compete against them. And so it's really the same mindset of just what can I do to get better, and how can I get there, but also how can I push my competition to get better as well.
And how about just as far as your kicking, what have you been working on?
As far as kicking, just consistency, and really after the BYU game last year, honestly, I didn't get too many practice reps for the rest of the year, and so kind of getting the feel of live ops again is kind of what I've been working on a lot.
How tough was that, just to go through that?
It wasn't easy. I was a little bit more arrogant than I thought I was beforehand, and so it was very humbling. And I'm really thankful, honestly, that was something I did go through, because I was really happy for John, really happy that he had a great year, and obviously he just did pro day, so I could not be more proud of that guy.
Do you get that year back? Do you get that year back?
That was a redshirt year, yeah.
How do you feel like the competition's going on?
Competition's been going well. Just like the other guys, like I love Jack to death. He's super cool, and it's been a breath of fresh air to have him around and stuff. And I think we're both pushing each other to be better. He's a great competition, so we'll see where Coach wants us.
After going through that last year, what kind of mentality do you have heading into this year?
Really just what can I do to get on the field, whether that's field goals, whether that's punt, whether that's kickoff. Really just overall just trying to be better, and I don't think really anything changes from last year, honestly.
Have you noticed any change in the special teams unit with Tyler coming into the program and kind of working around things?
Yeah, so like Jack said, he's a younger guy. He's a lot more relatable, and honestly, with the previous special team staff that I've worked with, he's very relational, and that's something that we had before, but not to his extent so far. And I've really appreciated him caring about us first as players, and that's been awesome.
How important is a guy like Garrison, a guy that really doesn't get a lot of credit, with being a long snapper?
That dude is super important to the team, from like his long snapping job, but more so even I just say from his presence in the locker room. He's been really outspoken about his faith lately, and it's been really cool. He's been really encouraging to me, as well as a lot of other players. He's been bringing a bunch of guys to Harris Creek, one of the churches that's local, and it's been really awesome lately.
You look at it as 3 different jobs to be won, or split among you guys. I mean, what's your mindset there?
What do you mean?
Extra point, field goals, and kickoff.
Extra point and field goal. I mean, I would call that pretty much the same, just because like if you want to. I don't know, a lot of kickers say, like, you got to kick everything the same regardless. It's not like a chip shot or anything. So it's that one's the same. Kickoff, I mean, we've had different guys do it for the past, I don't know how many years. And so that one, I would call it different, but I think that's its own thing, and we haven't even installed that yet. So that tells us one thing about it. So.
Is that something you're good at, can do, that kind of thing? Or?
Yeah. I mean, kind of a combo guy, I guess, is what they would call it. But I do all 3. So whether I end up doing them all on punt, field goal, or kickoff, really just any of them.
So you've been punting too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do y'all cross-train a lot on that, just in the event of injury during the game?
Yeah, so we have obviously the depth chart, but every day out at practice, we haven't done many kickoffs yet, just because it hasn't been installed yet or anything. But punt and field goal, me and Palmer do punt, and then me and Jack will go over and we'll do field goals, and we do both of them every day. So I don't know if that answered your question.
But Jack, what made you decide to transfer here? What was it about the program?
I think the coaching staff is something that's really cool. Coach Aranda, he's just awesome, and the guy who recruited me, he left. He got a special teams job somewhere else, which is great for him. But then they brought in Coach Hancock, and Coach Hancock's doing really good with us, the specialist. He really cares about us, and I'm excited for the future. So.
And how's the competition going out there?
Oh, it's good. I love my guy Hank. He and I have gotten really close, and above anything, we're friends and we're brothers. So that's what's important.
Jack, are you? Could you kick off too, or what's the competition? Is the kickoff? Is it just for field goal and extra points, or will one of y'all kick off too? Or?
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm aware, I think we're doing everything, both of us, and I think they're just gonna decide whoever they want for different spots. I don't know what that's gonna look like, but he and I are just gonna do our best at what they tell us to do. So.
Do you feel like you've had a good spring? Are you confident?
So far, yeah, it's been good. Kind of getting into a rhythm with Garrison and Palmer holding. So getting reps is really important, and that's been going well. So yeah.
What do you think that Tyler brings to the table in terms of coaching coming out of the step?
Yeah, he's it's cool because like some of the coordinators I've worked with before are a little older, and he's like younger, and so that's really cool because he can relate to us on that level, and he really cares about us, and he makes that known, and I think that's something that's really important for players, and so he knows a lot about football too. So yeah.
What's kind of been your impression of Dave Aranda in the program that you've just joined?
I really like how he leads his players. His biggest thing is like person over player, and that's something that kind of like what Coach Hancock believes in too. And so just making guys know that their coaches care about them is really important. And I know that guys benefit from that a lot.
Thanks, Jack.
Sweet.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you guys.
Yep.
Well, what are you hoping to see from the special teams this year, maybe compared to last year?
I feel like we had a pretty good year last year. I feel like we could improve our consistency just with, punt and field goal. I feel like there's just little things we need to work out, but I feel like so far in spring, we've done a good job so far, and looking forward to what's going to be this year.
So how'd you become a long snapper?
I honestly just knew how to do it. I didn't. I was never just a long snapper in high school, but I just knew how to do it. And then my dad. So I actually had a PWO offer here, and I wasn't really planning on coming here. But then my dad got hired here, and I was like, all right, I can snap here. Might as well be close to family, So
You had that offer before he came?
I did, yeah.
Where were you going if you had to come here?
I don't know. I hadn't made my decision yet. That just kind of made it easy. I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah.
As far as apparently you're really good at coverage as a long snapper. How do you get that way? What does that take?
It's really just I feel like playing a different position than just long snapper, especially in high school, was helpful for me. Just because I played tight end and some linebacker too, so it was helpful just being able to know how to get off blocks and running down the field and being able to break down and make tackles. So it's really just kind of natural, I feel like. But yeah.
Do you miss playing linebacker?
I do.
I want to say you tried a little bit of it here, maybe not?
Not really, but I do miss it.
Yeah.
It's hard going from being out there half the game to maybe having 5 or 6 plays the whole game. But I'm enjoying playing long snap here. I'm thankful for this opportunity. So.
Like you said earlier, kind of building up that consistency and making it more consistent. How important is special teams this year for you guys, do you think, in kind of controlling the game that way?
Special teams is huge. Coach Aranda always talks about what's it called? I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's where say the offense isn't doing as well. Yeah, complementary football. He always talks about complementary football. So say our defense isn't doing as well, then we go out there and we make a big play, flip the field on punt, then we got to hold our part, So being consistent for us in punt, field goal, kickoff, everything, that's going to have a huge say in the outcome of the game, no matter what it is. So, for sure.
What's it like to share this experience with your dad?
That's something that it's a lot cooler than I thought it'd be. Because in high school, I would go to practices and stuff, and I'd see him coach. But actually being out here with him every day and seeing him coach and have an influence on all the players he's coaching is really cool. And seeing all the work he puts in to it too, to provide for my family is really cool too. So that's definitely something really cool that I get to see firsthand.
Is it difficult, like you said, you used to be out on the field half the game, and now you only get 5 or 6 snaps. Does that put extra pressure on you when you're just out there for that limited number of snaps?
For sure. It's definitely a lot of pressure because when you play another position and you go out there, you maybe mess up a play, then you can come back the next play and bounce back. And obviously we can do the same thing, but we get a lot less chances. So we really have to go out there and execute the best we can every time just because we don't get as many chances. So I feel like there is a lot of pressure just in that sense.
What do you do to keep your rhythm when you have to just come in and some of the other players can be in the same, but you have to show up and be ready for one play?
Snap a lot on the sideline. Sometimes I snap too much, but I feel like just making sure that I stay warm the whole game and kind of knowing the feeling of having that solid snap just on the sideline, because then I can just go out there and not have to worry about that, and I can focus on coverage or whatever other aspect it is.
Kind of just curious, is there any April Fool's jokes the team has played at each other today?
Today,
Yeah.
not that I know of, but I mean, maybe some are coming, but not that I know of. So yeah, not yet.
Going along with that first scrimmage, how was that today?
It was good so far. Punt went pretty well for specialists. I feel like the scrimmage just with the team overall went well too. There was a lot of competition. Offense and defense just fighting back with each other, but I feel like we're heading in the right direction for sure. And for first scrimmage in spring, I thought it went really well. So
Thanks, Garrison.
Yeah.
yeah,
Thanks,
for sure.